Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. We're back. Black Game Pro Sessions 2026. A new year, a new perspective, new people to talk to. And I mean, we have a wonderful guest again today, and I'm going to totally geek out today because we can talk about events, my specialty, my core, my my thing. So I'm super happy to have Bryan come on later. For all of you guys and girls out there watching, I appreciate you guys joining. I appreciate your feedback, your input, and also I already see that there is a first comment from Floyd. I'm also looking forward to today's session, Floyd. So yes, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. So for those joining first time, Black Game Pro Session is all about shining a light on the amazing talents that work in our industry, and through that, uplift, inspire, and hopefully, get people to see that there's people out there that look like us that do amazing things. So all of that said, let me do a quick introduction for Bryan, because today's guest is someone who understands gaming, not just as an industry, but as a culture. Bryan Reid has spent years working at the intersection of games, brands, and community. Most notably, difficult word, through his time at Activision, where he helped shape how major franchises show up beyond the console and into real-world culture. Now, what makes him interesting, to my opinion, isn't just the titles he's held, it's the perspective he brings. And let me tell you about what that means. He is someone, in my opinion, who has navigated big corporate systems, learned how power actually moves inside them, and then made the decision to step outside and build on his own terms. Through his platform, Reid Ahead, he now advises brands, creators, organizations on how to move with intention, relevance, and authenticity, especially when culture is involved. Now, recently, you may have seen some of his work surface around moments like ComplexCon, where gaming didn't feel like an afterthought, but like a core part of the cultural conversation. Now, that's not accidental, that's design. Tonight isn't about hype, it's about craft. It's about knowing when to play the game and when to rewrite the rules. Bryan brings real insight into what it takes to build credibility, move laterally, and stay human while doing it. So, I am extremely happy and honored to welcome someone who's been in the room, left the room, and decided to build a better one. Building rooms, yes. So, Bryan, welcome to Black Game Pro Sessions. I'm going to bring you on stage now. Hello.
Howdy. Hell of an intro.
I have to do you justice. I mean, it's first of all, honestly, I'm super happy to talk to like a peer, like a event person, experiential person, because that's my thing. But also just looking at your resume, looking at your where you come from, the work that you've done, not just for Activision, but in your previous work and the previous missions that you've had. It's super exciting and motivating. So thank you for being here, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. And Happy New Year, of course.
Yes, indeed. Happy 2026, everybody. Also, Liam, just quick question. I hear the music still playing in my headset. Okay, so that's fine.
Okay, we're gonna vibe on the music.
Okay, I love it. Yes.
Otherwise, silence is gonna be so awkward. Now we have like some background music in case there's like awkward silences, which I don't think there will be. But still, you never know.
I'll try not to have a moment.
All right. Before we get started into who you are, where you come from, and what you actually do, a quick round of warm-up round, rapid fire questions, all gamer related. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Put me in.
He's ready. All right. So first question, super simple. First game you ever remember playing?
Oregon Trail, 1992 on DOS. It was the way that my parents were like, We'll let you get into gaming, but we're not going to go get you a console or anything. That would be outlandish. So let's make it educational, and let's use a family computer to let it happen. So I remember getting cholera a bunch of times, breaking axle wheels, and just going, this is some fascinating journey across the way. But that was my first foray into gaming.
Hey, it's a good 4.5, and indeed, I think that was one of the first like educational but also fun and entertaining kind of games, which
Yep.
I also remember playing back in the days. Yeah, man. Wow, Oregon Trails. All
They
right.
should bring it back. I'm like, someone should do it again and make it
I mean,
an open world Oregon Trail.
community, if you can make it happen, we want Oregon Trail
That's
to
what
be.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Could be fun. All right. What's your game of 2025? Your favorite game from last year?
Ooh. The game that I'm just gonna say the game that I played the most last year, and I've been still grinding on because I do it every single year, is FIFA. or no, EA Sports FC, I should say. It's no longer called FIFA. It's EA Sports FC. It's the one game since I've been playing that game since 1994. Every single year, I buy the new game to go and grind an ultimate team and build my own manager and support Manchester United. And I have so much fun just playing that game.
I haven't played FIFA in a long time, and I probably also the reason why I don't play these kind of games because I suck at it. I'm more of a single player kind of person because then nobody can see how shit I really am. You know, it's perfect. It's great.
No, for real. No, it's the one game that I'm confidently able to play online and just be like, I will be able to do some damage. I could play competitively.
All right.
It's like that.
So if people want to battle you, they can find you online.
Come at me.
All right. There you go. You might get some new friend requests coming up. Your console of choice. What's your console
PS5.
of choice? PS5. Have you always been a Sony guy?
No. I had an Xbox 360 for a bit. But I just love the controller and I love the aesthetic of the PS5. It looks cheap, and I'm sorry, Microsoft. I'm sorry to say this, but I just love the PS5.
It's perfectly fine. We don't judge. It's no worries.
Yeah.
It's all all right. Final quick question. What is your Mount Rushmore of video games of all time or franchises?
Okay. Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah.
Both 1 and 2. Super Mario 64. That I poignantly remember playing that game as a child and just being like blown away by it. It's probably the longest it ever took me to finish a game, just because I was like, I thought I was done, and then I jump back in and be like, oh, we're back. There's more things to do. And wait, there's only 2. Obviously FIFA, great. Obviously. And then I'm gonna try and true Grand Theft Auto series.
Which one is your favorite of the series?
San Andreas.
Oh my God, CJ. Oh shit, here we go again. Yeah, man. All right, I think we're warmed up. I think we're good to dive into your life, Mr. Reid.
Let's do it.
My fellow event person. So you're LA based. What was your upbringing like? Did you always want to become an event person? Were you like the party goer as a kid? How did that happen?
Actually, yes. I was the party person as a kid. Growing up, like especially, I would throw these events when I was living on the East Coast, especially in high school. I was living in Connecticut, and I was always like going to concerts and whatnot, and then throwing parties at my house when my parents were gone. So that was like my first way going, oh, I know how to organize things and get things going. And then, yeah, it transitioned into college where I would put on some shows, some concerts. When I was going to school in New Hampshire, then I found my way into doing events because I dropped out of college, went home to Illinois, and then I started getting into web design, and then I found a job working in Austria for the snowboard event company. And I just randomly went on monster.com, applied, going, maybe they'll see this, maybe they won't. I got a call like 2 days later, and through this random amount of interviews, they're like, yeah, you're hired. Come live in Austria and throw snowboard events across the world for what was supposed to be like 3 months. And then it ended up being 2.5 years of me just like putting on snowboard contests and then doing like concerts. I remember like booking Sean Paul, Diplo before he
Paul.
became Diplo, A-Trax, Justice, like
wow.
not Bruno Mars, but Jared Leto's band, 30 Seconds to Mars. It's always Planes to Point. So I remember meeting him in like 2007, just going like, "Oh, you act and do music? That's cool. It's cool that you're at a snowboard event in like Russia right now. But yeah, let's just go for it." So that's where I really got my start in doing events in action sports. Predominantly.
I mean, but coming from the States and moving to Austria, like, I mean, what made you say yes? You were like, because that's a step, dude. I mean,
it was honestly blind confidence because I just said, you know what, why not? I was like, I know snowboarding because I grew up snowboarding. I have been a sponsored snowboarder for years, so it's like something I've done for 30 years. And I was like, oh, there's something that I could do, be in snowboarding and also do possibly cool parties. Why not? So I just, like I said, I randomly applied to this thing. I remember getting on a call with these two guys that were based in Germany at the time, just going like, you sound like you know the things. I was like, yeah, I do. I do, but
I know what I'm talking about.
Let me kind of fake it until I make it. And then I got there and I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well just soak everything up. And I got to learn underneath some incredible human beings while I was there, but it was just like wow, this was an unexpected way of me getting here, and I'm going to take advantage of this to the fullest. Wow. And I learned a lot working with international clients because, like I said, like we were on a 6-month calendar where we would do. I've been pretty much everywhere you could imagine snowboarding. Where there was snow, I've been. Outside of like South Africa. So it was just working with all these different people and all these different entities that were pumping dollars into action sports, especially snowboarding at the time. So it was just like, whoa, I can't believe I still can't believe I always thought I can't believe I got that job because I was so like it was so beyond what I got. But once I was there, I was like, let's learn.
Wow. So did you learn how to speak German?
I did. I've lost a lot of it, but I know gross beer.
Gross beer, yeah.
and that's pretty much it. That's all I really remember.
Well, that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Wow. Okay. But so you lived in Austria for a little bit, did events, got to work with international artists, did a lot of cool stuff, snowboarded all over the world, and then you came back to the States. And how did you tackle your career from then? Because that must have been also a transition back from Austrian mountains and bratwurst to back in the States and now in LA.
My parents, I'm first generation, so my parents are from Guyana, which is in South America. So my Guyanese parents were just like, we got to get you home. You got to finish your education. So I remember the first year of the tour, we had a very successful year. Then the second year, we had a very unsuccessful year because there was a global drought, so there's no snow. And I was like, oh, this industry. At the time, I was like, I see that there's some barriers that are going to conflict with this industry because if there's no snow, there's nothing to do the events, and people are going to back out. So I came back. I was then going to like maybe I should go back to school, and I tried. I went to DePaul University for a week. I never forget, like, the reason why I dropped out of college is because I went to school, and I remember it was right at the time when I was growing up on the East Coast when Facebook came out. And we were one of the first schools outside of the Massachusetts schools that got Facebook. And I was like, this is like something that's like I just have a feeling that this is going to be something big. And no one's talking about this. Like, my teachers were like, that's just a fad. That's not going to grow anywhere. This is just like a blip in things. And I just was like, I'm learning about the 4 Ps from a book from 1974. Like this, like we're in the now. This is the 2000s. This doesn't make any sense. So then that's what originally got me out. Then when I went back and I spent that week in DePaul, I was like, they're still talking about this. Like, they're not. I've been living what I've been doing. I've been building like Facebook pages and using Facebook to talk about events. Like, this isn't the time. So I then had this interesting, I was walking home or to the train, and I never stopped at this brokerage firm that was hiring people in marketing called Scott Trade. And I was like, I need a job. I need something right now. So I went in, I got a job on their marketing team, and that's where I learned about the most traditional sense of marketing. ever. It wasn't event based. It was like how to do like seminars really in like the
Oh
branches to
God,
talk
yes,
about that.
yes.
So it was just a job that was like, okay, I got a job. What am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get money. But my real passion was like music, because I learned about all this music and all these up and coming like musicians, rappers, DJs, producers while I was in Europe. And I was like, I'm gonna just start a blog, and that's gonna be my creative outlet to dissociate myself from like the 9 to 5, me wearing a suit every day. Sometimes I go to the Chicago Board of Trade, sometimes I wouldn't, but like it was like the thing. And I had lived like this double life. I was like doing the brokerage firm marketing job during the day. That night I was out in nightlife, like going to these shows, going to these clubs, like meeting all these people in music and talking about the music. So the blog ended up getting some traction in Chicago at that time in the early 2010s. Started getting traction because at that point Chicago was a lot of a flyover city. And I got to start working with these artists from like Chance, like Foster Adamus, to Cruella, to a bunch of other people. And then my blog brought the attention of a bigger publication that had one of the biggest, if not, it was in the top 3 biggest SoundCloud accounts back then in the world. And this company called This Song Is Sick. And once they brought me on board, my resources were endless, it felt like. And I just started like then going to all these events, music shows, getting in the weeds of that. And I was just seeing like events from like a concert, a festival standpoint, both like nationally and internationally. And I was like, oh, so we're in a different way now, looking at this from a different lens now, but I'm soaking up all the things. And I just started like, at one point I was like, I want to make this a career, like a career. This is my path into music. I'm doing well at it. I'm making all these connections. How do I make this a career and start guiding?
It was that moment that you had that realization of like, oh yeah,
I'm on to something here. Like there was a lot of like blogs. Like blogs were a huge thing now. We were working for one of the largest blogs at the time. They're talking about a lot of music. So I was like, go for it. Let's just what do you have to lose? Let's just keep going, and let's just try to like navigate this. Let's try to find the money in doing this. And then I started meeting like artist teams that kept bringing me on to just do marketing objectives, because social media was such like an interesting facet into getting exposure and reach and growing audience. So I just started like for getting being on marketing teams doing that for artists. And that was when like there was no real algorithms out there. There was none of that. You could have direct communication and growth and with like your fan base. And it was just like coming up with these innovative strategies, whether it was like a pop-up what was a pop-up on tour, or like let's do something special for like 100 of our biggest fans, or like invite people for meet and greets, or do like secret sets and at different festivals like across the world. And then I just was like, it was just like then I just saw where like the money was really coming from, because then some of the artists that I got to work for got these brand deals, and I'm like, aha.
That's like, where
exactly. If you get a brand deal to go play, let's just say Bud Light's party at Lollapalooza, you could make so much more than what you would regularly play. And I was like, this is where the money's coming from, and these people are doing experiential events around this. And it was just like, once I saw that, then I was like, time to. I went further than I ever did, and I thought about doing when I got into music. I had like a Grammy run, got to the Grammys, and I was like, wow, we got here. And then I was like, this is how I'm going to build longevity for myself, going and working for an agency. And that there goes in my path into the agency world.
But how did you? I mean, it seems like you were a very social guy. So you were going out there, going to the parties, going to the concerts, talking to the right people. Or was it that you actively not pursued them, but approached them, or did they just find you because your vibe was social?
It was a combination of all the things that you just listed. There was a lot of like me, like honestly scouting people and be like, oh, I think this person might be at this event that I could then network with and just like strike up a casual conversation, or just like me being at the right place at the right time and having the right knowledge to speak about things. Also, I mean, I'm a very extroverted person, and build a lot of connections. So there was also a lot of help from my network that like a lot of people spoke my name into rooms full of opportunities, and then boom, it was like I would then just be able to be like, oh, like we heard about you, that you provide these services from these people, like we'd love to work with you, and start building my thing around that. So it was a combination of all things that took place that got me out of music into these into these rooms with brands to start talking about what they have going on project wise. And then it just like opened up my world to be like, oh, there's so many things that can be done to do amazing storytelling, and amazing innovation and idea planning, and working with all the things that I know about, which is like in the entertainment zeitgeist and pop cultural zeitgeist, to just like you give me the resources and budget to do it, let's do it.
All right, so then you transition from doing these already kind of pretty big and cool things to working for an agency and doing work there. How did that transition go? Where did people approach you and they had an opportunity for you, or did you create your opportunity there, or also a little bit of both?
I have a good friend, his name is Craig Teedy, who was a tour manager for A-Track back in the day. Him and I connected on a music festival cruise, and we just stayed in contact. And then I was like, "Hey, you're not on a tour anymore." Yeah, a music festival cruise, a 4-day music festival, electronic music cruise.
Oh, that's fun.
It was a time. Especially when you're working it, you're like, "Wow, just get me off this boat, please, get me off this boat." But anyways, I saw that he was no longer doing stuff with A-Track, and then he was like, yeah, I actually moved over to this experiential marketing agency called Mosaic at the time, and they've been doing a bunch of Bud Light work. They won an award for this concept called Whatever USA, and he sent me the thing about it, and I was like, they took over a town? It took over a town, painted it Bud Light blue. They took over a town in Colorado called Crested Butte. They painted the town Bud Light blue and brought 1,000 people to amplify this to like millions of people. And I was like, so I have an opportunity for you. Let's see what happens here. It was like a 3-month internship that turned into, I was there for 4 years. And my first project was continuing that with Bud Light, but doing a Super Bowl event with them for 2 weeks when the Super Bowl was in SF, which is funny because that was 10 years ago. And now this year, the Super Bowl's back in SF. I'm like, look at that moment. But yeah, from there, it was just like, I did a lot of work with Anheuser-Busch, so Bud Light, Budweiser, Stella Artois. Then it was like Xbox, Kanye, Travis Scott, like a bunch of like these Fortune 500 companies and events, just like when they were in the guise of let's build up what experiential was. And it was awesome. It was like such a evolution of like where I'd gone to this, to that, to that. And I was like, oh, now I get to see how this happens. I get to see
how it's made.
An agency can pitch ideas to the brand for the brand to buy in, set out the budgeting of it. Then it's just managing people and teams and vendors, how to get like the best tech vendors in this, how to curate a music lineup and do talent buying with this, and what like that looks like, and then how to promote it. Like the cool thing about everything I've done in experiential, and I still find this wild to say to this day, being over 10 years in, is that I've never done an event that involves a dollar transaction to attend the event. Everything has been free. Free to come and enjoy and take part in it. And there's a lot of pressure making a cool free event. Like I've seen people at free events and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But when you have that lens and able to do it, and especially with like the things we got to do, it the best type of experiential I found is like theater. It's purely theater based. There's acts, there's things that are going on. You're surprise and delight moments on the way. There's a story, an underlying story, and then you're tying in brand messaging, if not brand, whatever brand awareness that you want to talk about into that, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, people want to see stories. I think it's linked to like our tribal old days where we were sitting around the campfire listening to the other people share the stories. And what you do with experiential is you build that out. You visualize that story or that experience by building out whatever you build out. At least that's my humble opinion. So,
I agree. It's just
all right,
that.
So in that time that you were working for the agency, what was the one of your most, the event that you almost failed, but in the end learn a lot from by almost failing, and why?
I mean, I could talk about an event that I just failed at completely, but I learned so much about it. Which was the best lessons that we had. Let's just say we had a spirit client, spirit client that wanted to do a 75-year anniversary for their spirit brand, and it was in LA. It was in downtown LA, and it was the most like all the red flags that told us not to. Like, we picked this venue that someone told us not to pick the venue, but we were like, we're just gonna pick this venue anyway because it looks beautiful.
I made that mistake as well. Yup.
Yeah, right. Red flag right off the rip. If groups of people tell you don't work with the venue, and you should heed that warning. But it was that. Then it was then just like we get there, we're going through contracting, and we're building out this immaculate thing. Like I could say that we were working with The Weeknd, and the legendary Virgil Abloh was going to open for The Weeknd at this event. And I got to work with both their teams and getting it to the line. We get on site, and I'll never forget. Just the build out was beautiful, like this all encompassing, so many different touch points. Like I'll never forget, the guest list was going to be something of like the Kardashians were on the guest list, like all the LA socialites. It was like people were hitting me up to be like, "Can I get on?" I'm like, I don't have that much space. It's like it's gonna be a line. It's gonna be a thing. And I'll never forget, like we did the walkthrough the day before, and I was working with our production team. We kept hearing that like they're going to be like on you, like the fire marshal is going to be on you. The police, they end up like chief of police was there for this site visit. Well, the walkthrough was great. I didn't take a single photo because I was like, I'm going to see this tomorrow. Then I get a call, 6 a.m. They're like, fire marshal's here. He is pulling your permit for this, and I was like, what? It's like, no way. Like, what? So we get on site, and they were like, you cannot have this event inside for this, that. And these are all reasons that we knew that the venue was not in the good graces of the city. And we were like, what can we do? And we tried to scramble. We were like, we got to move everything outside. And we did. We did that. We had to get a stage from San Diego, 4-hour drive up to bring up to build out the stage. And we did it in like we were going to do in the alley. I'll never forget that the artist team showed up and they were like, we were promised this, and this is not what we're getting. So we are not going to be able to perform this because you guys are in breach of contract. And it was like one of like the most biggest learning points there, because like we all were like, well, we have to cancel. There was like a line of people already down the block when we were making this cancellation. So it ended up turning a thing. And I'll just never forget that day. I was just like, we had like a postmortem about this. What could we have done around? I'm like, just learning lessons there. There were so many things along the way. And when you do events, you see those red flags and you're like, we can just bust through the barriers. All we have to do is make it to opening. It'll be all fine. And I'm like, no, we have to. Like, it taught me a checklist of things you have to go through along the way to making sure that your event's going to take place. But that is what we, as experiential managers, like we face obstacles every single time we throw an event, no matter how small or how big. There's obstacles along the way that we have to persevere and get through, and we mostly do. Like 9 out of 10 times, I would say we figure out a way to do it. But like that was one of them. That I was like, the red flags were so apparent, and it taught me so much about this. Like, you know,
you learned from that. I
learned and
been there, done that.
Insanity is not taking place.
I remember producing an E3 party once and booking a venue in downtown LA that was like max capacity was 600, and around 1,100 people showed up.
Yep.
So fire marshal like basically shut it down. No one goes in anymore. And then we had like CEOs waiting outside, that kind of stuff. That was fun. Good learning moment. Never do that again. And indeed, like you said, you see the red flags in the beginning and you're like, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I mean, shit. I mean, we're inviting 1,500 people. How many will actually show up? 600 should be fine. Nah. Nah.
Precisely.
Wow. Yeah. That's a learning moment and a half.
Yeah. But like I said, ever since that moment, I'm now like, I triple, quadruple check everything. It taught me how to build like a actual production playbook of things that we have. So there's things along the way that everybody has access to, shared documents, get on the page, have like triple conversations with your brand partners. Because then also this also taught me how to do like building client relationships, because like as an agency, that's what you have to do. You have to build client relationships to build out bigger and better programs along the way, especially this new business that comes with it as well. So it's just like having your things together as a production lead, as a production director, is just so quintessential to getting things across the line.
Oh yes. So, I mean, so in your book, what are like the 4 ingredients for a successful event?
I mean, it goes without saying, but that production run a show better be dialed, dialed and accounted for minute by minute. As like I said, it doesn't matter how small or how big the production, just having that down and having like, especially like now that I'm on the brand side and I get to work with agencies, it's just like having that accounted for all parties, whether when you're on the agency side, you're working with vendors, AV, fabricators, like all these other people that are on board to then manage what they're doing and what times they're showing up on site. But then the brand side, it's like, hey, it's like, how am I accounting for all our stakeholders that need to be there, our content teams that need to be there, and all, and when's that going on? So it's all these different things and pieces that you have to put together. Decks, having like an overall deck that showcases what you're going on is another thing. I have this saying that like decks get checks, especially in experiential, because you can have an idea and you're like, oh, that's a great idea, but unless there's some visual representation
you need to visualize it, man. I know.
Exactly. People are like, I can't fully understand what you're talking about. It sounds great, but like once you get the deck and you put it together and you can tell the story of what you're trying to achieve, it goes such a far way of getting things done and getting buy-in from all parties, and then explaining it to then vendors or agencies when you're going through the RFP process, and then start working with them, building out this comprehensive single source of truth, and having that in there. Like that single source of truth deck is just like there. And then especially managing when you're working with like influencers, content creators, streamers, celebrities and whatnot, just like getting on the board of who's going to be the person that's going to literally be there for them like the day before, the day of. What are they tasked with? What can they do? Managing their time, because there's a lot of times it's just like, I've seen the ambiguous nature of it being like, oh, they're going to show up, and what are they going to do when they show up? We're just going to figure it out once we're there. That doesn't bode well for anybody, because they can just. I've seen situations where artists have been booked for a gig, and they've have had zero like fear of what happens. They show up, they look around, they wave, and then they get out of there and go. And that's technically that's all they needed to do. And I'm like, missed opportunity there for so many things. So being very clear cut with what they're doing on site and the expectations of what they're going to be doing on site will help immensely. But those are a few of the things.
I couldn't agree with you more, and especially also need working with celebrities, making sure that they feel right, that they feel good, that they feel taken care of, but they don't feel too special. They no, you're part of.
I mean, the best thing about that, especially because like now the way that experiential, what my experiential role does, especially working with a lot of these celebrities and streamers, content creators, it's just like the best is when they end up showing up for something, and then they end up like being a part of it way more than what you negotiated or agreed upon, because they're like, I genuinely am ecstatic to be here, to be a part of this, and to talk more about it. And then they like, you want to stay till we're loading out. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Time and like,
and they're posting on their socials. Yep.
You're something like, that's the dream.
Yeah, agreed, man. We have a question from India. To piggyback off that, what are the 4 ingredients of or personality traits to be a successful experiential director?
To communicate effectively, communication. Just you have to over communicate, to be honest, like a lot of the times, because that if you don't do that, then the level of like ambiguity, assumptions start happening. You don't get everybody together, and once people start falling off the train that you're trying to build, it doesn't bode well. Being able to cite budget increases at the early stages of things is also huge. Like the amount of like everybody has a budget. Everybody has a budget that they initially set upon, and most of the time you never ever stick within that budget. There's always incremental things that happen.
There's never what are you talking about?
Stop. It always happens. I think maybe one time in my career I've ever been under budget on something, and I was like, how did this happen? Like we can give you money back. But yes, citing, being aware of when that's happening, laying it out, being like, all right, if we miss this deadline of a yes, then this is going to cost X amount more, and this is the consequences of us not saying a yes at this point in time. Or if like this is an idea that's now taking shape. If we want this to happen, this is how much it's going to cost. So this is what it's going to be if we do have this idea, or this is what's going to happen if we don't go through with this idea. The A and B and the cost correlations with it, so people could be like, yes, because then it's like, especially because brands are having to put the bill for most of these experiential events, then they can go, all right, I can go out internally and find the dollars elsewhere from different departments and go from there. Being organized, I mean, that is a saving grace. You can't be out there scattered. Like, write things down, make planning documents, have organization, having a level of organization that you can turn to, or if anything happens to you, that you can then share with somebody else to come in and substitute. Therefore, then they know what you're working with. It's life-saving, to be honest. I'll say that it is life-saving. Having a very level of organization, be able to like share these things and have that stand-up meetings and just documents together. And next is just assume that something will come up that will derail a situation and how to navigate that calmly and fluidly, and to the point where the consumer experience, it doesn't impede the consumer experience. Like something always comes up, something always happens, whether beforehand or on site. Like, but there could be chaos going on behind, and you're managing that chaos, but it doesn't affect the actual experience or the event that you're doing. It's just a lot of deep breathing and just ready for it.
A follow-up question for me: how do you stay calm? Because indeed, doing events, especially at this level, can be extremely stressful, especially when things go wrong or things go not as planned. What is your trick to go back to Zen?
I just take a beat. I listen to the information or observe it, and I'm like, okay, this is what I start formulating a plan. So I'm like, all right, while I'm formulating a plan, who do I need to make aware of this situation, and start communicating that, and then acting on a plan. Like, don't just cite the problem. Notice the problem and start problem solving in real time. And though, like, yes, there's a balance of like you need to figure out there and now, but just like take a minute. And if you are unsure of something, like there's people around. There's people around to talk to. And to bounce this off of, to make sure that we're all thinking of all things. But like, I just honestly just like take a breath, take a beat, start thinking, start being like, I've been here before, we're able to get through it. It's not as big of an issue as that, because like nothing will scare you more than having a fire marshal or police chief at your front door, other than that being like, this is going to happen. We're going to shut this down if you're not going to do it. You're like, okay, like before we start shutting down, what's the real problem here? There's too many people. There's too many people outside. Okay, this man's out. We're not going to kick the people. We're not going to kick the people inside. Ow, that'd be crazy. Like, let's relax. Let's just come up with a different way. Let's get on Let's get this on everybody's page and start formulating that plan.
Amen to that. Yes, it's social skills indeed. How do you then communicate when things are
Social skills.
Oh my God, yes. All right. So one of the things that you probably, I have that whenever we have like a huge event and you come back home, there's always kind of like this post-event dip in emotions because you give so much. At least for me, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm
No.
I
heard.
It's like the dip in. I know in my predecessor, the girl whose job I took over when I started doing E3, she always called it the post E3 dip, and it's real. I can tell you, it is real because you give so much of your your energy, your being and doing, especially when you do experiential, when you lead the show, it's a lot. So then when you get back home and you go back to regular life, going to the supermarket, having to buy your whatever breakfast stuff, it's weird. And it's, how do you deal with that?
Therapy. Therapy?
Yeah.
Because I remember that in my early, like, or when I was working on the agencies, it was like one event after another, and once that event ended, and you didn't have something already in the line, you'd be like, oh, wow. It's like a level of depression, kind of. And I was like, why am I going through this feeling? But that's because, like, you put so much into this project to get it there. You stood it up. It's there. It happened. And you come back, you're like, what is life, kind of? Because you kind of disassociate because you're so in the weeds of things. And now I've learned to just, like, it's fair to have that feeling. It's valid to have that feeling. Feel that feeling. But no, just, like, start just resetting, like, because there's a lot of times where I like have to like tell friends no to seeing or hanging out, or like put off a project that I've been waiting to do, and then I'm like, I now have the time to do that. So like I kind of create a list of things that I'm like, all right, I couldn't meet up with this person, I've been wanting to do this and I haven't been able to do it, so once that time hits, I can do that. Or best thing is, like, that's when a great time to use PTO. Just take PTO. like after Tony Hawk this year, once we did THPS Fest, I was like, I'm going to Mexico and I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna take email and Slack off. All the postmortem stuff can wait till after I'm back. But I'm just gonna go like relax. And it's even like, I don't have to say that you need to go to another country to go find this. Like, I've also found solace and peace going into nature, going on a hike, going into the woods, or just like really like navigating these parts of LA. Like,
I do see you post a lot of these nature pictures indeed on your Instagram. It's like that seems to be indeed your way to.
The beauty of Los Angeles and California. There's nature all around.
I agree.
And that's a great. So it's just great to just also like, I could always go to the beach and just stare at the water. And just go.
True.
That's peaceful.
Hey, amen to that.
Yeah.
So all right. So
find a way that works for you. But like, it's valid to feel that feeling after an event. Like it because like
it's a lot.
Everybody sees like the end product, but they don't know the things that led up to that project that could have taken months, weeks, and months off your life to get it there.
It's also like you said, your attendees, they don't see the chaos that might be going on backstage. They don't know. No. They just get the experience. They have an amazing time. They go back home and they're like, oh yeah, that was dope. And at the same time, you're like, oh my God, are we going to be able to make this happen in a proper way? That kind of stuff. So yeah, man, I totally understand that. One of the reasons why I wanted to have a conversation with you, other than the fact that you're an event experiential peer, is what I found out when I watched my annual report of ComplexCon, one of my favorite events to kind of look at from the perspective of lifestyle, culture, and breaking boundaries or bending boundaries. And I saw Activision there. I was like, oh my God, they did it in the proper way. I saw a huge car. I saw apparel, actually cool apparel. And then I found out it was you behind that. Can you take me and the millions of viewers that we have through that moment? How did you get there? Because why I thought that was such a remarkable thing. I also work in games, and I know what it can be like to convince management to do something out of the ordinary, do something that is not specifically aimed at your gamer audience. And you managed to collaborate with one of the biggest platforms out there when it comes to lifestyle and culture. And you did something that was a top-notch quality for as far as I could see.
Complex Con has been something that's been in my orbit and atmosphere for almost 10 years. I mean, ever since I met one of their experiential directors, Neil Wright, the legendary
Neil.
Oh
my God.
In passing in Chicago randomly. It's been something that I've always wanted to do. I've shown up there, but this was like a chance to do something with Call of Duty. In a new place, because this is now that they were in Las Vegas, and we'd previously been there before I got the Activision. We'd previously been at Complex Con Long Beach. But I was like, what can we do now in 2025? So this is something that I originally pitched in like 2023. Timing wise, from when the game was launching, it wasn't going to line up. Then again, tried to pitch again internally in 2024. Still, they're like, Bates timing of the game, it's not going to line up. So then 2025 took place, and we just got ahead of it very early on. And through just like working with their partnership team, and detailing everything that we had a chance to work with Arsham, with coincidentally 3 years ago I was
that was super cool, man.
Yeah, he got announced as a director, and I remember he got announced as a director, and I was like, this could be it, because 2 years ago when I coincidentally ran into Arsham at like this book signing event, I was like, yeah, I work for Activision, like we're big fans over here, and he was just like, love to do something, and I'm like, I would love to do something, but at the time he was in a partnership with other gaming company, so he's like, I can't do anything right now, and I was like, okay, let's just keep something back burner. So Complex Con came in, Arsham came in. We're like, we've got these two awesome forces to work with in that regard, and let's just start building out what that experience could be. And then we dialed it in where we're like, we have this thing called Call of Duty Next that takes place where it's pretty much our Super Bowl, our showcase of what the next Call of Duty will be like. So we're like, we have all these elements that it's usually typically for our community and content creators that are invited on site. We're like, we can take these things, some of these elements, and repurpose them and bring them into these new audiences that have never got to experience something like this. So in our Black Ops Zombie mode, we have this thing called the Wonder Vehicle, which is like this immaculate, let's just say truck. This wonder-tastic truck that we got to spec out, got to work with West Coast Customs on building out what that was.
It looked crazy, man.
And it's something that lives in games. So taking an actual in-game element and bringing it to the real world, we're like, this is it. Like, this is what we can showcase, and we can build this thing around of like having that. Then working on this capsule collection with Arsham, where we got a few of these pieces that would only be available at Complex Con. Because as anybody that's gone to Complex Con knows, it's like there's so much that's happening there. It's like what some of the biggest things that happen there are only exclusive to Complex Con. So we did that, and then it was just like, what's that experience going to look like? And then when it came to this being there on site, like the reception was incredible. Like, we were one of the few brands that were like, we're not going to sell this collection. Like, let's have it be for giveaway. Like, post for a giveaway opportunity. And we were like, even if we get like a few people on board, like, we'll be happy with that. But like, there's constant flow of people coming up, engaging with the Wonder Vehicle, jumping in it, because you could actually jump in it, take the photo, like use the turret, jump in the back, look at the front. There was like these big old zombie lizard monsters on the front, or what we call the abomination creature on the front. And it was just like such a wow. This is how they showed up in this awesome way. And the community, the Call of Duty community, got to actually touch, talk, like see how we could do something on that level. Then it was awesome because we were right by Arsham's car station, the Carsham experience. So obviously we were like, he's got to come over. He came over. He's like, wow, look at this. Like, this is great. Like, look at the relic piece that he built for us, which is this 3D, or like, no, let's say 2D, but 3D kind of immersed Call of Duty logo with his Arsham detailing the decayed and deteriorated effect. And it was just like hung perfectly lit. It was just awesome. And it just goes to show like that, like, though I was told no for like 2 years prior leading up to this, but kept being like, we'll find a way. So once the way happened, I was like, okay, everyone's been hearing about me talking about this for so long. And that no, I could start turning into yes, and I know how to go about and get it, because timing wise it could work out. And then it was then just building out what are we going to do on site. And it honestly was like a big learning lesson, because then we're like, this is how we could show up in gaming. Like, it doesn't need to necessarily be us playing the game. It's just how can you interact with us in a different way.
But that is exactly why I think what you did was so cool, because indeed you showed not just your management or the attendees of ComplexCon, but also your peers in the industry, like myself, like, you can actually show up at an event without any game pods and still have a cool activation, get people excited, repost how cool the hoodie. By the way, I'm very upset that I don't have a hoodie, but that's a different conversation. But it's that you give them value in a different way. And I think that is super smart, by building bridges between cultures. Because back in the day, and I've been in this industry for a while, and I'm going to sound like an old guy, which I am, but back in the days, the promotional t-shirts that we had for our games were shit. I mean, it's just promo t-shirts that you not even wear once.
Oh my goodness. The E3 collection, when you left E3 with the
a stack.
Like, what are these? What's going on here?
And if you just feel the quality,
I think it did wash one time, it shrinks, or it just the whole logo falls off. Crazy.
But that's the thing. It's like, exactly, and you brought the quality. The collaboration that you have with Arsham, with the t-shirts and the hoodies that you created, and the fact that you gave them away for free at an event like ComplexCon, where everything is monetized normally, is super smart. And I want to give you your flowers for that, because I know the struggle that it can be to convince your management to get legal on board, especially when you're working with someone like Daniel. All the things that come into play. You've been at it for 2-3 years to convince people to do this, and then to make it happen and turn it into a success and see people actually enjoy that moment. Yeah, man, that's dope.
Yes, it was awesome. It was like one of those things where just like people see like what happened, but the stuff that happened along the way to get there was just like, wow. Wow. Yep. It was a lot of conversations, things, that challenges, but we got through, and it turned up being like a launching pad for things to come in the future.
So it was worth it?
Very much worth it.
We have another question from Sibonisi. I was just curious, do you approach each new event as if it was the first time, or do you find yourself carrying over from one event to the next? Does it become a blur, Bryan?
Not anymore. Back when especially when I was working on the agency time, I wasn't set on one specific brand. I would jump from a lot of brands, so it was just like I'd have to like kind of like be like, okay, we need to start new here. What have we done and what have we gone to? And it used to kind of feel like just back to back to back. Now we have a lot of time, especially from Activision time, to in between events to be like, okay, what have we learned from this? How can we adapt? How can we innovate? How can we bring that swag and stature that Call of Duty is to the new folds? And I was blessed last year that I had 2 games to work with. I got to direct our Tony Hawk Pro Skater relaunch of 3 or 4, and then we had Call of Duty. So it was like cool that I got to live in both worlds this year. Yeah. Mostly focused on Call of Duty. But it's just like every single time that we plan one of these big con events, or we are doing stuff around reveal, whether it's like a seasonal update, or something that has to do with like maybe a war zone or zombies or something like that. It's just, we don't just go, okay, we don't just like go back to back. It's like, let's break it all down, tear the whole things that we did down, and build anew. How can we go and build something from kind of like scratch? Sure, there's certain infrastructures that
Don't worry, it's morning for you. It's all good. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's all good.
But then we just hear about like it worked for like an IP as robust and beefy as ours. It's just like there's so much to pull from, and the fact that we come up with a new game a new title every single year. It's like you have to you have to start new, because you can't bring what worked for Black Ops, for a Black Ops game doesn't necessarily work for like a Modern Warfare game or a Civil War game. It's like we're kind of in that period where we have to kind of adapt and build from scratch in that regard, which is awesome, because then it allows that you don't get stagnant or complacent about things. You just get to really just bring on a whole new set of things and ideas to the table.
And if I can add to that, I mean, it's not like you forget all the experiences that you built before. It's like you have that knowledge in the back of your head whenever you build out this new approach for a new launch or for a new game. So it's not like, okay, you know, it's you go back to the beginning and reinvent the wheel. No, you have your structure in place, which allows you to then think creatively and, you know, come up with out of the box ideas to promote this new game.
Yes.
Yes, my humble opinion.
Yep, and we're already cooking for this year's title as well.
Oh man,
so we're in the weeds.
That was my next question.
About what we have planning, but we planning. We are planning.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's super dope. So yeah, that was my next question. What's up for you this year? Well, you know, what are you cooking? I understand you can't share, and I understand the confidentiality.
Like I said, this is going to be mostly a COD year. So with that, we have an exciting IP coming up later this year, and we're working furiously on what that's going to be like. I mean, we're past like the whole, like, we're not in like the brainstorming phases. We're in like we're cooking stages now.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward to that. I have some like stuff that I'm working on the side. But also I'm also looking forward to just having now that I'm looking back and be like, I've been in experiential for now 10 years officially this year. I'm like, wow. And then I honestly over this break, I stepped back. I'm like, this is where it started, and this is where I've come. And I could not have imagined the path that when I started to where I've gotten to, even with like the dips, the things that happened during COVID when our industry was impacted drastically. We didn't think that we would be able to do events, and then we all had to navigate these interesting times of like building a sense of community and culture in these virtual remote settings. And the cool thing that I've obviously seen out of the pandemic is that, like, before the pandemic, it used to be like you had to be at the event, and if you were there, too bad, you missed out. It took place. But now there's so much going in to like, oh, we need to tell a story that could appease, if not engage with audiences that aren't in the room just as much as people that are in the room. And that's something that's like drastically changed my job, because it's like we have to make it impactful and engaging on both levels. Like, and I stress the engaging part, because it's not like, oh, we just put a camera in the corner of what the live event is. Hey, pay attention. Pay attention to this live camera. It's like, no, it's like
that's not how it works.
Like a story and engage and moderate and curate and grow the audiences. Like, I get so much inspiration from like these content creators now, these streamers per se, of like how they can engage with people for long periods of time and build these surprise and delights and communicate with people, because they're in one setting and you're broadcasting out to a global audience, and how to make everybody that's watching at home
feel like a part of it,
feel literally a part of this, having a chance to speak and be engaged, have opportunity to share their ideas, build their own community around it, take their community and build other communities, and inspire people to think differently. And that's why I continuously love working in experiential. Like, it presents that every single day.
Wow. Yes. Yes, obviously I agree with you. We have a final question from Terrence. How can small businesses get involved in things like this? I'm a lifelong gamer myself and have a lifestyle brand that is focusing on event activation for 2026. Would love to connect.
Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's talk. You do not have to have these massive budgets to do things. It's one, identifying your community or the community that you're, or the audience that you're trying to attract, and then seeing what works with the resources you have and how to scale something, how to start small, build a solid product or event off that, and then think about how and 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, if this keeps on going, how can we scale it? And that's where I've seen success across the board from so many different things along the way. And being persistent, you're going to learn a lot. Like, everyone's like, let's do an event. And I'm like, okay, you can do an event, but is it going to be like, what's going to be the reason for people to care about this event? Like,
exactly.
You have to provide more of a reason than you just doing something to make people care. And the most beautiful things start small and then grow to big, but it's keeping that authenticity and keeping your brand identity and your messaging intact along the way, which is like one of the most special things that one can do. So yeah.
Dude, message. Yeah. Appreciate you, good sir. We're 1 hour in, so I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. But before we go, one final question for you, good sir. What is next for you, for Bryan, other than the cool events that you're working on, the cool projects that you can't speak on yet? Where do you think this is heading for you in the next, let's say, 5 years?
5 years? Oof. I'd love to see where experiential is going to go in 5 years, especially with like I feel like now, since we've ridden out the post-COVID times and brands are starting to spend more and pay attention more of how to build experiential and put resources behind that. I'm trying to just carve out and I'm trying to notice everything, soak up still everything, because I don't know everything still. There's so much innovation that's happening that's just, I got to pay attention to it. 2, it's just like, I'm trying to then just mentor others along the way now. Now I've reached to that point now that I'm like, I have a lot of people that reach out to me, just like, I've learned about experiential in college. So I'm like, I'm so glad that now they're talking about experiential in college, because when I went back, ended up actually going back to finishing college, I was like the advocate showing the way. So now they're speaking about this in classrooms and people are getting, how do I get into this career? What's the path? I'm like, everyone's path is different. There's certain things that I could advise you to do, doing that. But now I'm at like the giving back portion of my life, to be honest, like, because I want to get more and more people involved in this awesome marketing funnel that's literally shaping the world, because it allows that actual in-person touch and that community and culture building that's so vital to have reach an audience and grow a company from to. So yeah, I'm really much in the bag of like giving back as much as I possibly can, but also being respectful of, I can't do everything. I can't talk to everybody. I eventually try to get around to everybody that I want to talk to at the same time, but still a human being, still trying to figure that out. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for making the time today and talking to me and talking to the people that are watching. Okay. Well, actually, okay. Before I let you go, final question from William. What do you think about brands building their own studios for their own content?
Smart. Just like build smart, very smart. Keep it all within the house. Build with what the resources that you have, and keep that IP, because then you have partners come on board to then like bolster your resources and your budgets to build it on a bigger scale. But smart. Don't just, in my opinion, don't just go out and partner with the partner because then like that partner, who knows, take your IP from you, and then you're like, I'm left with nothing. So it's smart to build from what you have and to keep that, because then you get eyeballs and audience and attention onto you, and then you could be like, oh, you want like to partner with me? You want to sponsor something that I'm doing? Great, that's fine. I'll take product. I'll take cash and resources to make this bigger and better for sure. But like, and then you can start like building out your repertoire of what you want to go from there. So yeah, but yeah, I think it's extremely smart to build your own studios, build your own content, and then monetize off that, the dopeness of it.
All right. I'm going to let you go. We get a big thank you from South Africa. We have Siboney still tuning in from South Africa. Appreciate everybody joining this Black Game Pro session. I appreciate you, Bryan, for making the time. I know you're a busy man. Also, I didn't thank you yet, Bryan, for introducing me to Tiffany from Riot Games, my next guest in 2 weeks. So we're going to have this month is going to be all about events and experiential, which is great because I love that. So thank you for making that connection. And for next month,
problem.
February, the plan is to have one guest every week for Black History Month, where we will probably most likely have guests like Gordon Bellamy. We got Ryan Johnson from Community. We have Aisha Brown from Microsoft, and then we're finalizing the time with Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. To get her on board as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a busy time coming up for Black Game Pro sessions. Once again, Bryan, thank you so much. Really, I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
The knowledge you shared, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to see what's next for you and for the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Black Game Pro Sessions. See you in 2 weeks.